What's up YouTube, my name is KKC and welcome to the channel. So since the launch of Season 3 there's been plenty of weapon tuning going on over on Warzone. And on the 4th of May we got hit with another surprise update with another load of buffs and nerfs, and once again the meta is up in the air. But despite all that, in this video we're going to go through the top 5 assault rifles to be using in Warzone at the moment for those medium to long range gunfights. Right guys, before we get into it, there will be timestamps in the description where you can just click on whatever gun you want to have a look at. If you want to skip straight to the XM4, you can go ahead and do that. But coming in at number 5, we have the STG-44. Now, this has been off the radar for a while, but there was big updates to this gun in the most recent patch. So without going into too much detail, it's had its maximum damage increase and it's also had its minimum damage increase. And they've also adjusted the headshot and neck damage multipliers. So enough of all the boring stuff, what about the attachments? In the muzzle slot we're going to go for the MX silencer, in the barrel we're going to go for the VDD 760mm 05B barrel. In the optics, this is down to personal preference. I like to run the G16 on some of the guns. You also could run the SVT40 PU scope, the 3 to 6 times optic. That's also a viable option for that slot. For the stock, we're going to go for the VDD 34S weighted. Now in the underbarrel slot, obviously there's a few different options here. You've got the Carver or you've got the M1941. In my opinion, I prefer to run the Carver foregrip over the M1941, just because the STT does have a little bit more kick than something like the Cooper Carbine, so that's why the Carver foregrip is on there. We're going to go for the Gorenko 50 round mags. Now they also did change the fire rate multiplier. They've decreased it down to 6%. But what does that mean in game? Well, the recoil is going to be slightly better just because the fire rate is slightly decreased. In the ammunition, it's going to be lengthened, of course. I like to run subsonic, but that depends on your playstyle. Lengthened is going to be the go-to. In the rear grip, we're going to go for the polymer grip, and then the perks are going to be sleight of hand and fully loaded. Now, you could run vital if you're happy with the recoil of this gun. You could run vital for the increased torso damage, but obviously give it a test out. If you don't like the recoil with it on, take it off, put sleight of hand back on. So coming in the number 4 slot, we have the C58. Now, the Cold War AK was nerfed quite badly in this update. They've decreased the maximum and minimum damage on that gun. So I think to replace the Cold War AK, a gun that has remained pretty untouched throughout the whole duration since its release, is the C58. So what are we going to put on it? It's going to be built exactly the same as the Cold War AK or the XM4. Agency suppressor, the Task Force barrel, axial arms 3 times optic, the field agent grip, and then the 45 round drum magazine. If you can hit your shots and you like the recoil pattern, this is a very, very good gun. Coming in at 3rd in the bronze position, we have the Automaton. Now, this is a very, very good gun to be running in Warzone at the moment. It's got very good range and the recoil is more than manageable. Of course, we're running the MX silencer, we're running the ZAC 600mm barrel. On the Automaton, I like to run the 3 to 6 times optic, the SVT. We're going to go for the Anastasia padded tight grip, fully loaded, polymer grip in the rear grip. We're going to go for the 75 round drum magazines, again lengthened in the ammunition, and again down to personal preference. If you are struggling with the recoil on the Automaton, chuck on the Carver foregrip and this gun will not move. It's an absolute laser beam if you swap out the M1941 for the Carver. So coming in the number 2 spot, we have, in my opinion, the most reliable Vanguard assault rifle. We have the Cooper Carbine. Now, in the most recent update, they have buffed the Cooper Carbine. In general, they've increased the max damage range by about 1.5 meters, and they've also buffed the barrel. So we'll get onto that in a minute. We are going to run the MX silencer in the muzzle slot. Now, for the barrel, like we just said, they have buffed the Cooper Custom 22-inch barrel. They've increased its damage range by 20%, and they've also increased its minimum damage. So the Cooper Custom is certainly the barrel to be using, and with this buff to the barrel, I would say the Cooper Carbine is certainly competing for the title of the best assault rifle to be running in Warzone at the moment. Within the next couple of days, I would say it's probably going to take the top spot. Moving on to the optic, we're going to go for the G16 2.5x optic, the Cooper Custom padded stock. In the perks, we're going to go for tight grip and fully loaded. The rear grip's going to be the polymer grip, the 60 round drum magazine, lengthened ammunition, of course. If you want to stay off the minimap, you can run subsonic. And then the recoil pattern on this gun is very, very manageable, so you can put on the M1941. Again, like all of the other Vanguard guns, if you are struggling, pop on the Carver foregrip and you'll have no issues with recoil on the Cooper Carbine. Now moving on to the number 1 spot, we have of course the XM4. For the time being, this is the go-to assault rifle in Warzone. It hits really hard, but it does pack a bit of a kick. So if you are struggling with the recoil, just go straight onto the Cooper Carbine. That's going to be the winner there. But for now, the XM4 is the most versatile assault rifle to be using in Warzone, and just like the C58, it's built exactly the same. Agency suppressor, task force barrel, axial arms, 3x optic, field agent grip, and then the Stanag 60 round magazine. And there we go, guys. In my opinion, those are the top 5 assault rifles to be using in Warzone at this moment in time. Obviously, the meta changes all of the time, so guys, keep an eye on the channel to stay up to date with what's going on with the meta in Warzone. As you can see on screen right now, we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so big love to anyone who leaves a like or a comment on the video. Speaking of leaving a like or a comment, if you did enjoy that video or you found it helpful, let me know by dropping a like on it down below. Let me know your thoughts on that ranking in the comments. Do you think the Cooper Carbine takes the top spot now? Is there a gun that you think is really missed off this list? Let me know down below. If you do build these classes, let me know how you get on with them. Thank you for staying tuned to the video. As always, feel free to subscribe to the channel for all of the latest Call of Duty news, tips and tricks, how-tos, class setups, and much more.